let's hear from a strong advocate for housing, Senator Young.
Well, thank you, Chairman, for holding this important hearing on affordable housing. I thank every one of our witnesses, because I have to tell you, as I travel across the state of Indiana, I hear from every community about the importance of affordable housing and about the challenges they're experiencing right now. This shortage is, of course, being exacerbated by the current inflation challenges more broadly impacting the country. And throughout my time in Congress, I've done my best to remain focused on efforts to address the housing shortage. I've been proud to work in particular with my Finance Committee colleague, Senator Cantwell, on the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act. This bill, as I think our witnesses know, will help strengthen the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program, also known as LIHTC, which remains the most successful affordable housing program in the United States, a public-private partnership supported in a bipartisan fashion over the years. If we want to address our nation's housing affordability crisis, I think it's crucial that we pass the legislation to improve the affordable housing program, the LIHTC program, by passing the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act as soon as possible. So I ask our witnesses today, this should be an easy one, by a show of hands, who supports this Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act? Well, thank you. Let the record show that all 5 of 5 witnesses support the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act.
The record will show it, and I was almost going to dare anybody to say that they didn't, but it is a very important piece of legislation that Senator Young and Senator Cantwell have led, and I appreciate it. Senator Young, continue.
Mr. Chairman. Let the record also show none of the witnesses are under duress or so forth. Okay, thank you. So let's dive into why this bill, just for a moment, in the LIHTC program have such far-reaching support. Mr. Roberts, can you kindly explain what it is that makes the low-income housing tax credit so effective in addressing the affordable housing crisis?
Well, thank you, Senator, and thank you for your leadership on the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act, as well as the Neighborhood Homes Investment Act. They share a common DNA, and what makes these credits work so well is a combination of factors. First is private market discipline. The credits only flow after the development is completed and public benefits are flowing. So we're not giving money away and hoping for a good result. We're paying only for success. And
paying for success, which is another thing that I've been focused on during my time in Congress. Frankly, my constituents insist upon it.
Yes, and by the way, thank you for your leadership on applying this pay-for-success principle throughout the federal system. It has tremendous promise, I believe. In addition, and so it's a very competitive market. The credits are limited. The states allocate them only for the highest priority activities, and then investors have to compete to invest in those properties. And if for any reason compliance is not followed through, those credits are recaptured. So tremendous discipline. Second, state administration. Ms. Bell and her colleagues have done an amazing job in stewarding these resources. We have tremendous confidence in them as stewards, and that's why neighborhood homes would rely on them. And they are both targeted and flexible. So they're targeted to the greatest needs, but flexible in how they're applied, and the tremendous economic and community benefits spinning off.
Thanks so much for that. One of the things I find unifying about the housing affordability crisis, and I like to focus on unifying issues. The chairman was kind to mention the innovation or China competition bill that we were able to advance last night on the floor of the U.S. Senate. One reason I was working on that is during this time of tribalized and parlous politics, we can rally around solving difficult challenges together across political aisles, across political philosophies. And this housing affordability crisis, it's striking how it impacts various demographic groups, geographic areas. It doesn't really seem to discriminate a lot. The brunt of this crisis, it falls on a diverse population, and it's so important we support programs and ideas that meet the needs of these varied communities. So, Ms. Wade, just very briefly, can you please talk about how the LIHTC program helps a range of people in need?
Senator, thank you for the question, and also thank you for all that you have done to support affordable housing. You are absolutely right that the problem of the lack of supply of affordable housing hits everyone, unfortunately. And one of the things that we see is that the LIHTC program has been very effective at bringing people directly off the streets into housing. It is one of the only programs that has done so with the support of the federal government. We see a range of types of individuals and families living in LIHTC-supported housing. That includes veterans. So 10% of our homeless population is made up of veterans. That includes people recovering from opioid addictions. That includes seniors, people with disabilities. I mean, it really does run the gamut of some of our nation's most vulnerable.
Thank you so much. I do see I'm out of time. I see a couple of other leaders as it relates to these issues have entered the committee room. So I'll look forward to continuing discussions about this bill and about other housing legislative priorities in my questions for the record. Mr. Chairman.
Senator Young, before you have to take off and go back and prosecute our cause for the semiconductor industry here in the United States, I'd like to note that what you and Senator Cantwell have done with respect to the LIHTC model has led people to say this is a solid approach for the housing policy of the future. And the home builders, represented by Mr. Conter, are responding with the legislation that I proposed, the middle income housing tax credit, the LIHTC kind of approach, so that a firefighter and a nurse will have a chance to start climbing the ladder of upward mobility. So good work to Senator Cantwell and yourself on this, and you'll continue to have my support in the days ahead.